Whoa, you! When she did that rundown, the agility was so fast. I love how we swapped for a thinner quality there as well. That section though, the likelihood of me missing some epic performances is high for me to react to and break down, because there are tons of wonderful performers, wonderful videos of people performing stunning songs that are out there that it's hard to get round. However, today I will be checking out a America's Got Talent performance, a finals performance of last year. This will be Jessica Sanchez performing Die With A Smile. I have not heard anything from this singer. I know, where have I been? I don't know, but I'm gonna break it down today. If you enjoy my content, please consider checking me out over on Patreon. There is some fun stuff going on over there, so just have a peruse. But otherwise, you have clicked on a reaction and an analysis, so I will be pausing and talking about the vocals. So with that being said, let's get back to it.
I just woke up from a dream. You and we had to say goodbye. I don't know what it all means, but since I survived, I realized.
Oh wow.
Wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow, so I'ma love you every night like it's the last night, like it's the last night.
Whoa. Again, no idea what was happening, what was going to come out of this vocalist's mouth vocal-wise, and this is really, really cool. I love the fact that we started really, really bare and minimum, a cappella basically, then we had this like pedal sustain, subtle crescendo in the instrumentation just to grow that underneath before we then build up. This is so cool. Vocally, we are providing lots of breath at the beginning, connection at some moments, but there is breath coming through as well to create this kind of, obviously a quieter, the less contact we have in our vocal folds, the quieter we're naturally going to be, the less we can kind of dynamically get louder. So we're really just letting it be quite breathy. There's also a lovely dark vowel, consistent vowel shape throughout, which is creating this lovely, like lazy back kind of feel to it. It's really interesting.
I just woke up from a dream.
There's so much breath, but also the I think was very glottal. Then in the second one, she actually sends an aspirate onset. So how we approach that note is allowing the breath to come through the vocal folds, and then they find connection. So that's already showing so much breath control, but so much breathiness in this delivery.
I just woke up from a dream. You and we had to say goodbye.
She's also, like, to give with that, I know I'm breaking this down a lot now because there's so many wonderful things that she's doing. A lovely vocal fry in this phrase. She's kind of, that kind of fall off of the note also provides a very lazy approach. She's not lazy with the choices. And we heard where she kind of goes and grows with this beginning part of the song, but it just gives this really lovely relaxed feel to it.
You and we had to say goodbye.
Beautiful vibrato.
I don't know what it all means, but since I survived, I realized.
Blum. This is a lovely moment for the piano to come in quite prominently there. Really, again, that ah vowel throughout this, realize, just keeping us, we're getting much more connected here. So yes, we're a bit more open with the vowel, but also connection-wise with the vocal folds, much more connection. Again, another vocal fry, that slack quality as we are coming onto the note. There's also a bit of a cry in her vocal delivery here, which goes with how she's becoming much more fuller with her sound. When we increase that cry quality, we are increasing the resistance in the vocal folds, so the connection between the vocal folds, so that they are creating much more of a clearer sound.
I don't know what it all means, but since I survived, I realized.
So bright.
Wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow.
Listen to that, how she starts that off really, really like thin fold, breathy. Then when she does the agility is super, super fast, but when she hits those lower notes, she's connected so that when she comes back up, on that tomorrow comes back up, it's much more of a fuller sound. It's not reaching up with the thicker folds there, but it goes on a real journey, starts thin, grasps hold of a thicker fold, and then becomes this lovely chest dominant mixed quality there, just lightly in there, in that pocket. It's beautiful. On that first follow as well, follow, fight, it's very bright. I mentioned a bright quality that she has in her vocal timbre. It's very, like, she's kind of smiling throughout these as well. It's very bright, but this tama, just opting for a bit more of a brighter vowel will help shift the overall tone as well, which then obviously she changes when she does that beautiful run on tomorrow. What a really powerful entrance to a song though. More or less completely by herself. Then we get some like strings and a piano chord as we build up. It's beautiful.
Wherever you go, that's where I'll follow. Nobody
Those swells.
promised tomorrow. So I'ma love you every night like it's the last night.
Notice how full we are here. Wow.
If the party was over and our time on earth was through.
She has a really quick vibrato actually as well, which is really nice to hear because sometimes like it brings out people like singers' uniqueness because the vibrato is that spin at the end of the voice, that kind of wavering between two notes. It happens when we're holding on to a long note or at the end of phrases. Doesn't always happen, but it is stemmed from everything kind of being in the right place, the right connection between the vocal folds, not pressed too much, not lifting too much. Everything is sitting in the right part so that then when we hold on to a note, the voice just wants to waver, and it's really, really beautiful. People can have like wide vibratos, quick vibratos, thin vibratos. She's got a really lovely quick vibrato, and it's so lovely to hear just the different sounds from people. Yeah, you can really hear how she's growing in volume and connection with her vocal folds as we go into this part. This part seems super easy for her to sing, and actually where we are range-wise for our female higher set singers is right through the first passaggio. So this is where the vocal folds want to go from thick to thin really, really quickly, and we really have to navigate it smoothly if we want to maintain a full sound throughout. Mixing is our friend here, our key. But she is just, I just love how easy this is just flowing out.
It's the last night. If the world was ending, I don't wanna be next to you.
Slight, like, woo. She lets it kind of float up there before she grasps hold of the thicker folds again and does a quick little riff on the end of that. But she also, again, that crying is very much involved here to grow the resistance in the vocal folds and just allowing it to be thin to then come back down on a lower territory, that was a word, to then grasp hold of her thicker folds. It's beautiful movement. I love that lean. Yes. Oh, this is a beautiful display of her vocal range as well. I mean, it's, you know, needed in the sense of this is a competition show. You want to make sure that you're showing everything that you can do in this one shot. Obviously, this is a final, so by this point, everyone knows her voice already. Again, just going back to the vibrato, she tends to go, as soon as she holds onto a note straight away, she goes straight onto the vibrato. She's not holding on to it straight tone and then letting the vibrato go. She attacks that note with a lot of vibrato. It's very full and epic. I was noticing as well, just before we got onto the chorus section, she has this really lovely open backspace in her mouth, in her pharynx. So at the back of her throat, it's just really lovely and open. The shape in which we shape our mouth or lift up our soft palate and create more space will change the effect of our sound, of the timbre of our voice. As well as if the larynx is a little bit in a higher position, like naturally everyone's in a different position, that's why we all sound different and not the same. If the larynx is a little bit higher, it's going to make much more of a brighter quality because the journey from the larynx out is a lot shorter. So contrasting to that, if the larynx is a little bit lower, it's going to have much more of a darker tone. Again, if there's more open space inside the mouth, it's going to sound more, maybe tilt towards a bit more of a classical. It's just going to sound a bit darker, whereas if it's a little bit forward and feels like the placements maybe a little bit more in this mixy area, it's going to feel much more direct. I just love it. There's a really lovely like warmth to her tone, and that's that open space at the back. You can hear it all there already. And like, yeah, you can hear that all in that moment before she then goes on to that growl, which is beautiful. But when she then is on a higher note in a beautiful chest dominant mixed belt up here, she is using that space right at the back to have that support, have that anchor point, feel lifted, but still obviously this is her sound. She's not shoving that energy forward and just getting it quite pinched and direct. She's allowing that quite a dark open space at the back to have that lift and to have that energy. I just love where she's placing this. Yes. Notice how she actually glottally attacks that. If the world was ending, like on the ending, just really glottally attacks. So I spoke about onsets earlier with the aspirate onset. Now it's a glottal onset. So the muscles of the vocal folds are connecting first to go to make that. It's not a poppy sound, but it's very, very, it's a beautiful attack. There's all these subtle things that's happening in her phrasing and delivery that just like it excites the listener, but also when you're singing this. I love that growl there. And then beautiful. Notice how she throws that aspirate there. On that top note, throws that breath first and then finds that connection with the vocal folds. Does she actually go straight tone first here? Because she hasn't done that before. Yeah. Then when she goes up on the next note, that's when she allows the voice to spin. So now she's showing some control, and that we don't always go to the same option all the time. Sometimes it's quite natural for singers. Like I said, I think it feels like it's not an afterthought for her to apply the vibrato, but here she's wanting it just to have that effect, to go straight tone and then let it spin. Now it's become much more of a thought. I love the harmonies there as well. She still has a bit more of a spread. Yes. Whoa. When she did that rundown, the agility was so fast. I love how we swapped for a thinner quality there as well. That section though, going up, ascending on this beautiful chest dominant mix. When we are mixing and this mixed voice, which really helps us navigate the middle part of our range, but going from the thick fold to thin fold, if we are wanting to hit these high notes with, a lovely full sound and a belt, because a belt is a style, not a register. We're wanting to belt these notes out. We don't want to reach up with our thick folds. That will cause a lot of strain and we'll feel really tired and it feels really, really like heavy and just painful and not fun to sing. So we want to start blending things together. It can still be a chest dominant sound. We need that to belt, but we need that support from up at the top. We need to make sure that we feel nice and light and not pressing in the vocal folds. So the thing, like I mentioned earlier, that cry quality, the twang will really help us here. But what she's doing here, there was a lovely shot actually when she went from that ooh vowel, which is still that kind of spread. It's not like a classical ooh, even though it's kind of like opposite, isn't it? Even though she has this lovely open pharynx space at the back of her throat, she's not allowing the voice to swallow. It's just creating that darker warmth tone. She is keeping quite a spread mouth throughout, which helps with the brightness. So I love how they work together. It creates such a unique blend. It's really beautiful, really lovely, clear, like full vocal fold closure, just beautiful here. Notice from here, I think the next, she attacks it with an A vowel. The tongue is beautifully lifted, allowing that shape to kind of curl down and send out. It's a really lovely chest dominant sound here. So much twang as well. Ooh, okay, hold on before we go to this part. Wow, I love how actually previously when she's gone on to the word two, she's swapped for a much more of a thinner fold quality, head voice quality up there. But here we can feel how that was a lot thicker. Not thicker with reaching, just a lot fuller, I should say, actually. We are opening the mouth a little bit, so modifying the vowel rather than keeping it to that ooh kind of vowel. Da! She's on this like ah, opening it slightly to an ah. Again, keeping it nice and bright, but it just, every voice is different. Kind of like what I've been saying here throughout. If you feel like when you're quite spread that the thicker folds wants to come up with you, just try narrowing the mouth and seeing what happens for you. That might fit you better and feel good for you. Here with Jessica, she's really just allowing it to kind of just, because she's so open at the back, it allows us to shift around. It's beautiful. She starts this section really quite quiet and like in volume. And then when she starts the second section, you can hear how she is providing much more of a full vocal fold closure from the beginning. So this is going to be a great anchor point as she soars into the next part. And there's also like a really quick, like a ascending riff. The agility is insane. Yeah, delicate vocals and piano. That cry again. Lovely growl. I loved the way that her voice traveled up, but we had like a nice minor descend in the instrumentation. It really creates this epic moment. She's just stood there in the middle with, you know, her mic looking stunning, and just, I love these arms that she's throwing around as well, just creating that support. And I've just seen in the comments here that she is pregnant while performing this. I could dive into this further because our voice as females, our bodies go through a lot. And definitely when pregnant, our voice can go through so many different changes. So many, like the thickness levels do change. So this is just incredible that she is put like here belting her heart out. Of course, every person is different, but we can go through some changes. So that's just awesome anyway. Like, wow. She is hitting these notes with such a relaxed posture, and it's just incredible. And I've talked about the chest dominant mix already. That's what's happening over here as she is extending up. She is just still remaining lovely and full and stretching the speech-like quality up there to maintain this chest dominant mix belt. But it's beautiful. There's such a brightness to it. There's such a beautiful ping to it. Notice how flat the tongue is, how open her mouth is, all these things, but she is just remaining so, like, nothing about this says, oh my gosh, high note. Everything is so relaxed and just anchored and supported. I love that hover. And the fact that she ends the smile and the if with that growl again as well on the same note. I love as well how she's not going through the diphthong, the smile. She's just on that open vowel rather than smile closing. Like, that makes sense because we want to stay on the most open part. We are beautifully loud here. She's not throwing heaps of volume out there. This twang, the narrowing of the AES is what's helping us derive that volume. She's just nailing this. That vibrato there. Look how controlled that is as well. She starts that like in her thick folds and then she swaps into a thin fold as she then ascends and becomes more breathy. It's beautiful control. And that slight lean back.
If the world was ending, I don't wanna be next.
Sorry, I know I'm not going to finish the word because I want to hear this ending completed. Starting very breathy, and you can really hear her natural like attractor state, like really dark. There's this dark timbre in there. It's really just smooth and velvety and just warm. Notice how like quite dipped down it is.
If the world was ending, I don't wanna be next.
It's very light connection there. Oh, beautiful. I love that return. That was so good. That was so good. I had that song in my head like all of last year or the year before whenever it came out. So now it's going to be back in my head. Thoroughly enjoyed that performance by Jessica Sanchez. Please let me know of more performances from her. What is she up to right now? I'd love to hear some more. But yeah, stunning performance. Great control of her vocals. I really enjoyed that. Please do go and check me out over on Patreon. There's a lot of fun going on over there. And if you want to have more content, please go and check out my second channel. I post some vlogs, some behind the scene kind of content. So there's a lot of fun going on there as well. Hit that subscribe button and the bell button, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.